The Democrats just elected 3 very far left Democratic socialists in New York who are crazy, like outright really crazy. So, like, how are they going to blow it? I don't know, but they seem to be well on their way.
It doesn't make me forget that his wife loved October 7th attack on Israel and that he pals around with terrorists.
No, come on. Have you had him on the show?
We ask people like that, Ro, they never come.
I'll talk.
Bill Maher has finally revealed how Mamdani's socialist rhetoric is shaping how young people think, and it's startling. You'd expect the youth to know better, especially in this age of information where anyone can research socialism and whether it works. But no, they'd rather trust Mamdani. So Ma stepped in, and it was fiery. Make sure you watch the video to the end, and don't forget to share your thoughts with us.
Because this is big news in this country. I don't know if you saw what happened in New York. There were 3 candidates for this. These are the primaries. They are going to win the election, so there are going to be 3 Democrats in Congress. These are Mamdani's people. These are Democratic socialists, I think very different than the Democratic Party. What happened is, for years we've been asking young people to vote. Well, now young people are voting, and they're voting to abolish the police, abolish prisons, unlimited immigration, so no cops, no prisons, no borders, proving for sure that eating Tide Pods does cause brain damage.
Let's dive into it. So, you heard it straight from the source. According to Ma, the youth wing of the Democratic Party rallied behind Mamdani because they're drawn to open borders, the defunding or elimination of police, and the abolition of prisons. It's a striking claim, and one worth sitting with for a moment. Now imagine what that kind of society would actually look like if young voters got everything they're asking for, especially in New York, where Mamdani now holds the mayor's office. Picture the practical, everyday consequences. How a city functions, how safety is maintained, and how order is kept when the very institutions meant to uphold it are stripped away or dismantled entirely. It's not just a political talking point. It's a glimpse into a potential reality. And if you think that's already a lot to process, brace yourself, because Maher doesn't stop there. What he says next takes the conversation.
Democrats seem to be having this debate whether or not Mayor Mamdani is a socialist or a democratic socialist. Let me settle it. He's a straight-up communist. How do I know this? Well, I'm reading between the lines when one of his major advisors says, elect more communists. It's fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase...
And even further, and it might just change how you see this entire debate. Ma pushes back on the argument many liberals tend to make, the idea that Mamdani isn't truly a communist, that it's simply a phase he's going through, something he'll eventually outgrow. Ma isn't buying it, and he breaks the distinction down clearly. Mamdani identifies as a social democrat, and that label is not interchangeable with being a liberal democrat, no matter how often the two get lumped together in conversation. According to Ma, social democracy sits far closer to communism on the ideological spectrum than most people realize or are willing to admit. And that, he argues, is precisely the problem. It's not a label without consequence. It's a framework that carries real, dangerous implications for America as we know it, for its economy, its institutions, and its way of life. Ma's point is simple. Stop dismissing the label as harmless rhetoric, because the policies behind it could reshape the country in ways far more drastic than people expect.
Mamdani's a great one, huh?
I do. I mean, did you see his Knicks speech? I mean, anyone
not the issue that most concerned me. I don't
it's
need...
worth a watch because the speech was not just about the Knicks. First of all, he recites every Knicks player. I mean, I couldn't do that about the.
Who gives a shit about the Knicks? He's the mayor of New York.
Well, yeah, but he talks about how it's actually bringing people together. Trump voters, Mamdani voters, how it's overcoming the odds. And he took a speech that was just about celebrating a championship, and he made something bigger about it. He's a talented.
Okay. Well, it doesn't make me forget that his wife loved October 7th attack on Israel, and that he pals around with terrorists.
No, come on. Have you had him on the show?
We ask people like that, Ro. They never come.
I'll talk to him. I think
I
he
would
should
love
come.
that. I think he should too.
But here's where Maher throws a subtle challenge to Mamdani and the Democrats. Trust me, you'll enjoy this. Honestly, I'd love to see Mamdani actually sit down across from Ma on the show. It would be nothing short of epic, because Ma has reportedly been wanting to speak directly with a social democrat for quite some time now. And let's be real, Who better to bring on than Mamdani himself? Let me know in the comments below if you'd also want to witness a real Ma versus Mamdani clash. Because make no mistake, these are two fundamentally opposed political ideologies going head-to-head. On one side, Ma has been consistently picking apart and criticizing Mamdani's policies for months now, week after week, segment after segment. On the other side, Mamdani has been steadily making his case, building support, and promoting policies critics see as far left in New York. A face-to-face debate between the two could be one of the most revealing political moments.
Listen to this. There are thousands of people from countries we think of as prosperous and advanced who have come here and are now saying they can no longer go on in life if they can't get ranch dressing. One woman from Sweden said, "Why did no one tell me ranch sauce is like crack?" Because it's not. Your crack must suck.
Of the year. What do you think would happen? Now, Ma makes an eye-popping revelation as to why many young Americans are embracing socialism. Take a listen. You see, the reason so many young people are turning toward socialism is that they genuinely believe America sucks. And honestly, that's not entirely their fault. That narrative is what the elders within their own party have been feeding them for decades, generation after generation, painting the country in a consistently negative light. As a result, they look at other nations, especially those across Europe, and assume they're inherently better, more progressive, and more humane than America could ever be. But here's where Ma steps in and points out the glaring flaw in that entire way of thinking. He highlights something telling. Fans from all over the world who have traveled to America for the Soccer World Cup can't stop gushing about how genuinely great the country is, how welcoming it feels, and how impressive it truly is in person.
And as you saw with the communists elected in New York City recently, they're communists, they're not social democrats. They want to completely destroy the traditional American way of life. Communism is very easy to sell. It destroys everything, but it's very easy. I'll be honest, I think I'd be the greatest communist in history. I'd give free rent. Ladies and gentlemen, from now on, you don't have to pay any rent. From now on, anybody wants a house, don't worry about it, just pick the house you want. Everybody gets free food, everything is free from this point forward. Everyone's going to vote for me. The problem is, after 2 or 3 years, the country is a disaster area. The country fails, they always do. It always does. So easy to sell. That first year, boy, you're the most popular. It's happening right now in New York and California.
It's a stark contradiction to the narrative many young Americans have been handed, and Ma makes sure that contrast doesn't go unnoticed. Trump himself shared what he thinks of Mamdani and his politics. Take a listen. Trump is right about this one. Communism is, without question, one of the easiest ideologies to sell, especially to people who are down on their luck, struggling, and desperately searching for some kind of relief from their circumstances. It promises the world free rent, free food, free transportation, free schools, free everything. Exactly the kind of sweeping promises being floated right now in New York. On paper, it sounds like salvation, like every burden is about to be lifted overnight. But here's the catch that so many overlook. Critics argue those promises often become much harder to sustain once the costs and trade-offs become clear. Once that initial excitement fades, the years that follow can be marked by misery, shortages, stagnation, and the slow realization that nothing was ever truly free to begin with. History has shown this pattern.
I'm just glad you're talking to me. You know, I mean, I say it every time when the Republicans come here, they take their beating like a man. It's the people I vote for. They're the ones who won't talk to me. That's odd, isn't it?
It is very odd.
I mean, and I promise.
Well, like this new woman who was elected in New York. Do you think she'll come on the show?
Oh, I know you want. No, I can't get AOC. I can't get Mamdani. I couldn't get Kamala Harris. You know, it took me 8 years to get Obama. Anyway, let's not talk about my problems. And I promise this is going to be a lot easier than talking to the Iranian. Or even more, The View.
The question is whether it's harder than The View. That's right.
I'm just glad you're talking to me. You know, I mean, I say it every time.
That nothing was ever truly free to begin with. History has shown this pattern again and again. Yet somehow, each generation has to learn it the hard way. This is the reason why Bill Maher wants the likes of Mamdani and AOC on his show, to ask them about communism, but they never show up. Interestingly, Republicans like J.D. Vance are the ones who honor his invitation. Mamdani and AOC have not sat down with Bill Maher in this context, and critics argue they would face much tougher questions than they usually get. It's as simple as that. Because really, someone explain this to me, why do they constantly do interviews with all these friendly media outlets and sympathetic podcasts, the ones guaranteed to lob softball questions, yet conveniently avoid sitting across from someone who has actively contributed his own money to the party? It doesn't add up, and frankly, it shouldn't sit well with anyone paying attention.
Okay, so the three in New York City are